There we
All right,
go.
so now we're live. All right, y'all. So welcome to another episode of the Rock Report. And this one, I got my homegirl, Taj. This is the founder and CEO of Heaven Sent Cupcakes. She's a Detroit native, an entrepreneur. Um, Let the people know what you got going on.
Okay, as you said, I'm the CEO and founder of Heaven Sent Cupcakes. My name is Tajay. I go by Taj. I've been doing Heaven Sent for 5 years now. I first started right before graduating college. So I majored in culinary arts, baking, and pastry. I went to the Art Institute of Michigan. I graduated in September 2014. I had a classmate, and I'm pretty sure she's well known in Detroit. Well, she is well known in Detroit. Her name is Shani J. She has a owner of Shani J Bakeries and Shani J Meal Preps. Uh, she's literally the one who encouraged me to start a business. Never
Wow.
ever in my plans was it to be an entrepreneur. My plans was to go to culinary school to learn how to cook, and that was it. It was
Wow.
never my plan. This was not my dream. This was not it. Well, I didn't know it was it, I should say.
I think
So
that's honestly what makes it more organic, right? Like when it's completely unplanned, unexpected. And and obviously that's a memory that you have between you and Shiny J forever. Like that's between
right.
y'all. Like this is how this
Right.
thing got started. So like you've been in business for 5 years. Could you talk about like some of the obstacles that you had to experience when you first got started trying to get the business off the ground?
Okay, so with me growing up in the area that I grew up in, I don't know not one entrepreneur, not one.
Hmm.
Um, my whole family is work, get a job, work, live by checks.
Hmm.
Um, it Man, I can't even explain the feeling. I was 18 years old. Um, so just imagine me just like coming to my family like, yeah, I'm starting a business. They were looking at me like, okay, whatever. I was the
Yeah.
first to graduate high school out of my immediate family, and I was
Hmm.
the first to go to college. Um, so at this point, they're just looking at me like she just doing the most. Literally, it was just like she's just doing the most. Um, man, the obstacles, man. I've lost friends. I've lost family. I've lost a lot of people that I thought was really behind me along the way. For
Hmm.
real. The more and more I started taking it serious, the more and more I started realizing that people really wasn't rocking with me for real.
Hmm.
So I've quit. I'm not even gonna lie. I've given up so many times. Um, but some way, somehow, I always end up coming back. And every time I come back with more force.
Right.
Uh, I think it's dope, man. I mean, it's a long story behind it, but I really think this is what I was meant to do. And it's not something I planned on doing.
That's awesome. That's interesting you mentioned that because like when you mention like entrepreneurship to your family, like I know how much that can really alienate you from a lot of people that you grew up with and the people that you know, because that's one thing we don't talk about is like entrepreneurship is really lonely. Like it's a very lonely game to the top because you got a lot of fake love around you. It's people who say they believe in you, but behind your back they're like, she wasting her time. Like she ain't doing shit. Like
Man, let me piggyback off you off that one. I swear I was just telling my mentor this yesterday. Um, I literally was telling him like now at this 5 year mark, I feel like 2020 is gonna be something really big for me, and not just off that everybody say, "Oh, new year, that's my year." Like, no, I can literally feel it. And
right.
I told him yesterday, and I'm like, it's crazy because a lot of people who say they believe in me, I'm like, I can feel it now to where I know that they really don't believe. They
Yeah.
saying it because they love me, but they really
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
believe. So that's just dope. You feel me? Like people gonna be around you, and it's fake love, and it's not that they don't love you as a person,
Right.
but when it comes to what you believe in and your dreams,
Hmm.
they don't support you how you think they say they support you.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And one of the most empowering things along my journey is me understanding that I don't need their support. Like, I can be well off without it. I'm perfectly okay without it. But like, that's obviously what builds strong foundations, when the people at home support what you got going on. But unfortunately for most of us, that's not the luxury that we have. You know what I mean? So this is why I'm excited that the internet exists. I don't think I'll fully grasp just the enormous opportunity that we now have. Like, think about this conversation that we have, and like, the internet brought us together. It created a relationship. That
right.
is the most powerful. It's like magic. It's magic. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, almost, it's like, fuck the people around me now. Like, I got access to the whole world now. I got the whole world at with my back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really have to, like, really now more than ever, like, get more involved with the digital platforms, because I think it's just crazy how Gary Vee think. So he says real life, like your family and shit, coworkers and friends, that's fake life. He said the internet is real life. This is where shit is happening.
No,
Like,
for real. Over 90% of my customers come from Instagram. And some of them are now what I consider my best friends. And
that's
I
amazing.
literally met them off of social media. And you know how they say it's dangerous to talk to people on social media? That's what your parents teach you. But I've literally met some of my best friends
Wow.
on Instagram. The guy who does all of my graphic work, I
Hmm.
I will rock with him to the day I die. I
That's
met him
amazing.
through Instagram.
That's amazing.
Literally, I met people through Instagram that really motivated me to get back up and do what my family tore me down from doing.
Uh
Like
huh.
I've been told millions of times, go get a job. You need a job. Go get a job. This ain't working. And it's just like, but y'all don't have that vision. Y'all don't see what I see. So it's hard for me to get a job if that's not what I want. So I'll go get a
Exactly.
job. But guess what? 2, 3 months later, I'm quitting.
For
1 month
sure.
in, I'm quitting. I don't care how much
Exactly.
you pay me, I'm still quitting. It's not. I'm not happy. It's not where I want to be.
Because it's not about the money. And that's why a lot of
Exactly.
people confuse success with money. And we're gonna have to change that conversation. And I got a really good feeling about that conversation being changed within the next 10 years. And I plan on putting my mark on that conversation, right? With the content that I put out. I want the content, the conversation to be more around happiness and what genuinely makes you happy. And I can tell, like, baking is something that you enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, you enjoy what you do. You're fully invested in what you do. You love what you do. That matters more than the amount of money that you make and the peace of mind that you have, right? So
Exactly.
like, I'll often tell the story about my dad, and like, I'm not ashamed to, like, make an example out of the people in my personal life, because I feel like that's why the universe put them here, for me to realize what I don't want to be and who I don't want to be. So my dad, like, this beat down car that he'd been trying to, like, keep up and keep afloat and get back and forth and work in. He's talking about working a second job so he can afford enough money to pay for this car. And it's like, look, not only is that going to be taxing on your paycheck, but on your mind, your body, and your spirit. That's a tax. Like, a job is more than just making money. Like, it's a tax on everything. You know what I mean? So it's
Um,
like,
Emotions.
when you can be spending more time doing what you love on your passion, like, that's what life is all about. We don't have all day
Right.
here, and so, like, if my pops get up out of here, is he gonna be happy living a life where he spent most of his time miserable working for somebody else? Like, is that what
Right.
it's about? You know?
And even we still need those people
Mhm.
because if those people didn't exist, our business our businesses wouldn't flourish. So we need those people, but it's like it's so few people like us.
Hmm.
Like how Eric Thomas said, it's the 1% club.
The 1%.
It's 1%.
So would you say would you say the balance is actually perfect? Because you can't have too many bosses and not enough workers, right?
That is true, but I feel like, well, I guess because of how my Instagram is set up, I
Right.
do see a lot of entrepreneurs.
Right.
But reality,
Reality.
just from statistics,
Statistic.
is people are afraid of it. People don't dream anymore. People don't
Hmm.
have passion. People passions are literally like far, far out. Like girls actually grow up idolizing, and I don't want to say, certain Detroit people names, but
Hmm.
they grow up idolizing strippers.
Hmm.
That's what they want to be. And the guys grow up idolizing rappers, and
Right.
they want to live by their hood music and
I feel
popping
so sorry for
pills
them.
and killing people. They feel like being a thug is the way to be, but in reality, the definition of thug that they think it is really not the real definition of a thug.
Right.
And that's just something completely different. But
Hmm.
so I mean, people don't have dreams anymore. They don't dream anymore.
So we mentioned like the healthy balance, and I often talk about, let's say we had a jungle, right? And there was like 50 lions in that jungle, but it was only 25 sheep. Like they wouldn't really be able to survive. It's too many lions and not enough sheep. So you need more
Exactly.
sheep than lions. So it'll have to be 200 sheep and 50 lions. Like that's just how nature will have to balance it out to
Exactly.
perpetuate that species. So I feel like go-getters, innovators, one percenters, I feel like we're a certain species, and nature set the game up to where like our species can be perpetuated with a large number of 99 percenters for people for to be our customers, or people to be our audience, or people to be our listeners. So it's like
Right.
I love the way the game is set up here. Like I'm like taking full advantage of it now more than ever. And so like that's why I'm real big on branding. And so like I feel like you have the perfect platform now to really like be more aggressive with your branding. You know what I mean? So it's like I often like to replace the word branding with storytelling. So now it's like, okay, I understand how you make your money, but what story are you telling? Right. And so
That's
it's like,
dope.
how can you
That's
use your
dope.
content to tell that story? You know what I mean? And every day you can tell a different angle of that story. Let's say you just on Fridays you tell like a memory from like just a random day in your life that you just want to share. And sometimes you do that. You do share your memories. You know what I'm saying? But like the one time I share like what I used to draw when I was in like the fifth grade, just giving the audience just to understand where my mind is, and some people find it exciting, some people find it a waste of time. It's perfectly fine, but I'm telling a story here at the end of the day, and because it's about attention, and the goal is to keep people's attention. And so you don't want your product to just be the punchline, like, all right, here's my product, that's that. What do I got to do to keep your attention? So it's the reason why TV shows exist. TV shows only exist so commercials can run, right? Because
Right.
you wouldn't turn on your TV just to watch a bunch of commercials. Um,
Facts.
if I can tell you a creative story though, then I can slide some commercials in there and sell my products. So TV shows hire, commercial and big companies, they hire the best storytellers, and they fund these TV shows. They the ones who put the money behind the production for the shows. It's like, how can we sell more of our products? So like shows like
I never
Power
thought
and shit.
like that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, like
I
so
mean, I don't really watch too much TV either. Like, I don't own a TV. I don't watch TV.
that's
But
awesome. That's dope.
uh, yeah, I don't have time for it. I will watch it. I'm not saying like how people when I tell people I don't watch TV, they're like, "Oh my God, you don't watch TV." I mean, of course, if I'm sitting in a room with a TV, I'm
Right.
going to watch it.
Right. You're
But
gonna
me
watch it.
personally, I don't own a TV. I refuse to buy a TV. I feel like it's purposeless. I don't. Instagram is my television. I
Yeah.
spend a
YouTube
lot
is
of
really
time on.
becoming a new TV, even for like kids and toddlers. Like they grab
Oh,
them tablets and
definitely.
they run to
My
YouTube.
daughter,
That's
wake up here, turn on, turn on YouTube, and I turn on educational YouTube. Like,
yeah. That's powerful.
here you go, and she's learning with it.
That's
So
powerful.
definitely, because she thinks she's just watching. She don't realize that she's being taught.
Uh huh.
She's just learning and having fun with it. So definitely, I feel you on that YouTube. I learned. I always tell people I graduated from YouTube University.
Yeah.
So
YouTube University is where we got our degrees.
yes.
So like,
So
yeah,
I
you
have
have to
my
master
degree in
that.
culinary arts, but then I have another one in YouTube.
There you go. I like that. I like that. And so like what ways do you feel like, you can maybe, just I guess, tell a better story, or what platforms do you feel like you could really like take advantage of to communicate more on?
That's a good question. I mean, of course, because I'm on Instagram more than any other social media. That's
Okay.
where I started off. I feel like I don't like to call them fans, but they're supporters. That's where my
Supporters,
supporters are.
subscribers, yes,
Um,
like yes.
yes, that's where that's yes, my subscribers are. That's where they are because they literally, regardless if people realize it or not, everything you post, the people who really watch you remember everything you post, regardless if you delete it or not. They
Right.
remember that. So I will have a lot of people on random days DM me and they'll say something to me like, I've been watching you since 2015 and I love how much you've grown.
Wow.
I've just been watching how much you've grown. Never ordered from me, never commented on everything, never commented on anything, never spoke to me, but they're literally just watching you. And it sounds kind of scary,
Wow.
but
No, that's crazy that I cannot believe you just
they're
mentioned
literally
that.
just watching you.
That's
And at some
incredible.
point, they will speak up and let you
Hmm.
know that they've been watching you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you just spoke on that because there are a portion of your audience that won't interact, won't purchase your product, won't say a word, but they're just paying attention. They see what you're doing.
Like detailed, like they're really watching you. You know
Strongly,
how you
like they in your
scroll and you just be like,
yeah.
oh, okay. No, this person takes their time out
They read
to
all of the
really
words,
read
they
and
read every
thoroughly
hashtag.
everything. They are watching you, and it's scary, but it's really really cool at the same time. That's why you have to really be careful about what you post. But they're watching you,
Well,
and
see, like me, that's why I follow Gary Vee so heavy, because it's like he takes a different approach. Most of the time when we post is for ourselves. That's why I really don't like selfies. That's why you will never see me post a selfie because I feel like it doesn't give any value to my audience unless I'm going deep inside of the description. But when I post, I think about the audience first. I want to know what will give them some value first. And then I decide to make that post. Like, okay, what do they probably want to hear? What would they want to hear today? Like, what would be appropriate right now? And
yeah,
sometimes it is just random. Like you don't know exactly what somebody want to hear, but you put it out there anyway, and hopefully
it's
it can
gonna hit
help one
somebody.
person. That's all you
It's
need
gonna
is
hit
one person.
somebody.
That's my goal every time. One person. I don't care about two or three, just one. I don't care about negative comments. I welcome those. I'm
As
just
you
trying to reach one
should,
person.
like definitely as you should. And going off of that, there's so many times where I've been scrolling and I will see something you post and I share it to my story. I always share it to my story. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, this beat. Somebody needs this.
For sure,
It may not
because
be me, but somebody needs it.
somebody do need it, and I feel like as a happy person, because I consider myself just genuinely happy, I feel like I have an obligation to just communicate my mindset and just spread positivity around this negative world.
And
You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
you're supposed to do because you are the light. And as the light, you're supposed to shine over the darkness. It's like I said, the people who watch you is this one girl who's been watching me for some time. And she'll literally just like pop up in my DMs and be like, hey, I made you a flyer.
Hmm.
I'm just like, oh, thanks. you
Wow.
know? But yesterday in particular, I posted a selfie. I posted a selfie and she DM'd me and was like, you're so beautiful. And I was like, thank you. I'm like, you're just as beautiful. Not realizing, because that's just me. I'm just like you said, I'm just a happy person.
Yeah.
I always use the words love. I always use the words, beautiful. I always use those words. Like it's
Hmm.
natural to me. Like it rolls off the tongue naturally. Not realizing that I really did something to her spirit.
Wow.
So it kind of goes. It's like I feel like Heaven Sent is my talent. It's my passion. But my
Hmm.
purpose is that.
Hmm.
It's literally that's why my name of my business is Heaven Sent.
Right.
Cause it's literally like what I put so much energy into what I do
Hmm.
that when the next person eats it and they put it into their body, it touches their soul.
Hmm.
That's why it's Heaven. So it's
That
very like a lot of people think it's because I'm a Christian and I'm actually not. But that's really what it that's what the meaning is.
okay.
That's the meaning behind the name of it. Cause it wasn't called Heaven Sent at first. It was called
Okay.
Toddy's Edible Delights. Cause my childhood nickname is Toddy. But
Okay.
at one point I was like, nah, that's not what it's supposed to be. And I just like it's Heaven Sent. So yeah, definitely.
Wow. I also, I honestly, I've seen you post, obviously, about some of the dark days, and that's a topic that, I wanted to talk about. I want to just pretty much ask you, like, how did you pretty much find your way out of those, just those negative situations? Because a lot of people aren't really strong enough to deal with, like depression and just like anxiety. So like what's your thing, or what's your go-to, or like who do you listen to, or what type of content do you consume that picks you up and just kind of like gets you out of that state and gets you back on track?
Oh man. This is a deep one. Uh I've never I've never talked to a actual person about this. It's
Hmm.
always through social media.
Hmm.
Um Even with my poetry, I won't perform those type of poetry. I won't perform those type of poems. I'll
Hmm.
write it and I'll put it on social media.
Okay.
So this is the first time I've actually like talked to somebody about it. And I see that you did. I will say this before I tell you. I see that you made a video about it as well, and I was watching it. I didn't get a chance to finish it all, but I was watching
Hmm.
it. I'm like crazy because you would never know. And it was something that you said, like your family, when you put that video out, that's probably their first time ever knowing.
Right.
And it's the same with me, except my family don't follow me on social media, not
Right.
Instagram at least. So it's like they still don't know.
Right.
Uh, it's I can't explain it. Um, that darkness is like it's it's so powerful. It's very
Hmm.
very very powerful,
Hmm. It's
and
real. Yeah, it's real.
it's real. It's like you don't even understand why you're feeling this way, and you try to get up and you try to shake it off, and you can't really understand why you're feeling this way, and you continue to cry and you continue to be in pain, you continue to be in the dark, and you don't know how to reach out and get help because um I'm not saying it's just in the black community, but when you tell somebody you're depressed, they don't take it serious.
Yeah. They think you
um
crazy.
yeah, they think yeah, whatever. And it's like, oh, we all go through stuff, whatever. But yeah, we all go through stuff, but our emotions in which we go through things is not the same.
Right.
So when somebody say, oh girl, I know how you feel, brush it off. Just like, no, you really don't know how I feel because I'm really at the edge of I don't want to be here anymore.
Hmm.
So it's like something I posted up recently. It got to a point where I was here, but I was dead.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm just a body at this point. I wasn't. My soul was turned off. It's
That's
turned
how
off.
dark it got.
It's a book that I've been reading. I just started it yesterday. It's called um the journey, or I can't think of the exact name. It's like the journey to other planets, and
Okay.
it's basically teaching you how to tap into your soul.
Hmm.
And as I was reading it, it just reminded me of those dark times, and I'm like, yeah, I was depressed because I literally cut that part off. It's like you cut off your soul, and you no longer have a purpose.
Right.
And I no longer I couldn't understand my purpose. I'm like, okay, I got my business, I got my own house, I got my own car, I got a boyfriend. I'm like, everybody loves me when I'm out in public,
Hmm.
but when I'm at home, I'm lonely. And it was just like I couldn't understand why I was so lonely if I had everything I wanted. I had money, I had friends, I had everything,
Hmm.
but I was still so lonely. Even in a room full of people, I was still lonely.
Right.
Um, and I used to get teased about it with family. Like, oh, you're an outcast, you're a loner. And it's like, no, y'all don't understand. Like, I really am lonely. And I don't know what point got me to wake up and just realize who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, I think after the last time I did try to commit suicide a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So after the last time, um, I never like to say how I did it because I don't like to give other people ideas
Yeah,
who are
exactly.
going through those things.
Mm-hmm.
But after the last attempt, and I literally woke up in the hospital like, why am I not dead?
Right.
And it hurt me so much to even live with the fact that I tried to do it and I did not succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being my third time, I just was like even more depressed.
Yeah.
It's literally like it makes you even more depressed because like now I tried and I gained all this attention that I did not want because now people are like, oh, you're hurt, you're this, you're that, and they're giving you this extra attention and they have no idea what you tried to do. They
Right.
think it was an accident.
Right.
So I feel like I was really, really, really depressed after that. Like really depressed. To the point where I didn't love myself. And at some point, I will tell you, uh, when I got pregnant with my daughter, when
Mm-hmm.
I felt life inside of me, like a man, of course, can't feel it, but when I felt life inside of me, growing inside of me, that's when that depression went away. Literally, I was depressed before I knew I was pregnant.
That's
That
an
depression
interesting
never went
perspective.
away. It never went away. It never went away until I discovered that I was with child and I started feeling her literally grow inside of me. And that's when it went away. Like the depression went away. I mean, because you know how they say mothers have postpartum?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I went through things after the fact because I was literally still dealing with that depression. But she gave me a whole nother strength that I never knew that I had.
For sure.
So now it's just like I'm just happy, and it's like a genuine happiness. So I have a purpose now, and my purpose is for her, and it may be for other people too, but that's not my intentions. My intentions is for her. So that's literally when I started being happy. I
Mm-hmm.
can't speak for everybody else, but for me, that's what it was.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I actually did a video talking about purpose. And I feel like for the most part, like purpose is not special, like it's not divine or anything. Like I feel like you just pick it, because I feel like overall life doesn't have a purpose except for the one that you give it. And that's the biggest blessing of it all, that I can actually pick what I want my purpose to be and go after that and strive for it and die trying. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because whether you get there or not, it's the journey that matters. Like Gary Vee said, his ultimate goal is to buy the New York Jets. And he said the day that he buy the Jets is going to be the worst day of his fucking life, because now it's nothing else to strive for. Like, I think it was Malcolm Gladwell who said it's only two tragedies in life. The first tragedy is not getting your heart's desire. The second tragedy is actually getting it. That means it's the journey that that us as humans are really after, you know what I mean? Because Tony Robbins even talked about certainty. And he said, if you were so certain about just the outcome of life, you wouldn't even strive. If you knew you was gonna be successful and be sitting on billions, you're not even gonna go for it. But it's the uncertainty that keeps us hungry and keeps us alive. Uncertainty is a gift from God. Like it's the universe's ultimate gift, the unknown. You know what I mean? So it's like we should be thankful for it. You know what I mean? So it's like I did a video about depression, and I said ultimately I feel like depression is really a selfish thing. It's because whenever I felt depressed, I wasn't considering my family. I wasn't considering the billions of people out there that's doing worse than me. Matter of fact, I mentioned earlier in the tweet pic that I seen a guy at Family Dollar with both of his fucking ears ripped off, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
And I
shared
was just
that.
grateful. I was so thankful. Like, yes, thankful, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's why I said the universe is always gonna give you an opportunity to express gratitude. Gratitude is the most powerful force in the universe.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, Like I feel like the more you're indulged in that, you don't really have time for depression. There's no time to be depressed. There's no time for none of that shit.
Yeah. Definitely, like that's dope that you mentioned that, because that's literally what it is. When you thank the universe for everything,
Everything.
everything, and you are legit grateful, like you're not just saying, "Oh, I'm thank you."
Right.
When you're legit grateful for everything, nothing else bothers you.
Hmm.
Nothing else life throws at you bothers you at
Right.
all. It does not phase you. The negativity doesn't exist anymore.
Hmm.
And it's not in a naive way,
Right.
like you don't know what's going on in the world, but it no longer affects your emotions. And those emotions is what causes you to go into depression.
Right.
It no longer is it, because you have an understanding now. Okay, that happened. All right, I'll survive. I got through
I'll
that. I'll
survive.
survive. Oh, this is next. I survived. I done been through worse than that. Oh, that's coming. Oh, that ain't nothing. You feel me? So it's
Do
just
you know
like,
how much happier people would be if they lived their life by what I call the 5 by 5 rule? The 5 by 5 rule is if something happens to you that's not gonna matter in 5 years, you shouldn't be dwelling on it for more than 5 minutes. Like, who cares? I got a flat fucking tire on the way to work. In 5 years, I'm not even gonna remember I had a flat tire. Why am I letting this affect my day? Why is this affecting my life? That a boss is yelling at me, or me and my mom got into, like, I don't, none of that like should matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so really, if we put a lot of things into perspective, a lot of shit just wouldn't even phase us on a daily basis that we let upset us. And I'll run into so many weak-willed and weak-minded people that get upset about shit that's just completely outside of their control. So, for instance, like, I know somebody who got fired from their job that they was working at for 30 years, and they was just so miserable and depressed about it. It's like, yeah, you got to give up your house now, sell your car, but you built your foundation on this job that was a fragile foundation in the first place. That wasn't like it was your business. Like, it wasn't guaranteed those 30 years you was working there. So it's like, whose
definitely,
fault is it now? Like, it's nobody's fault.
your foundation should start with you. Literally, like you are your foundation. You are the foundation of your life.
You are the
So if
foundation.
if your foundation isn't together, when one small thing like losing a job it happens, it literally everything crumbles
That's
because
why I don't
you
believe
didn't
in,
have a
like,
foundation.
exactly. That's why I don't believe in, like, drug dealing and shit like that. Like, as much money as that might produce, that's not a solid foundation. Your foundation can be cracked up any moment, any hour, somebody kicking your door and take down your whole empire. You know what I mean? Because like, us trying to do our thing legally, it takes longer. That's obvious. It takes longer, but the foundation is more solid. It's harder to break, and it's something we can share for generations, like
It's
your grandkids,
really kind of unbreakable if you build your
if it's
foundation
done right.
correctly.
If it's done right.
Just like
Um,
Eric
the
Thomas said. He said, "Some my house could burn up today. That's okay." He said, "I can get robbed for everything I have,
mhm.
money, house, cars, everything can be wiped away today." He said, "But that's okay because I know how to build that."
Exactly, and they asked Henry Ford, like, yo, what if you was to lose everything, all of your riches, accomplishments, and money? He said, I have it back in 5 years. It's a mindset thing. It's just mindset. And when you understand who you are and what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, can't nobody tell you nothing. That's why you
Can't
think
nobody
that
tell
song
you
was
who you
so
are.
powerful. Like, that song was so powerful because everybody can resonate with that one little bar. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Exactly.
Nobody. Like, I know who I am. I know myself now, and that's my
Right.
advantage. And like, it's funny, earlier you mentioned that your friend, pushed you into business. I think for the most part, that's how the universe works. It's always some type of outside entity that helps us, from a different perspective, understand who we are and what we're capable of. So I realized at an early age that a lot of the conversations that I just had with family members or just friends was very enlightening conversations. And I'm like, these are the moments that just make me feel so fulfilled on a level that I just cannot explain to you. I feel like time don't exist right now. You know what I'm saying? Us having
This
this
time does not
conversation,
exist.
it doesn't exist in this moment. You know what I'm saying? With us being able to just share our wisdom and just have a genuine moment. You know what I mean? And hopefully this moment and this conversation can impact somebody's life 10 years from now, because content is forever. And so, I truly value that, and that's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. So, like, the internet has given me an opportunity to be who I am even more, even bigger version of myself. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm genuinely happy. Whether I succeeded all the goals I set for myself, I don't give a fuck because the name of the game is happiness, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm happy. You know what I mean?
That's so, yeah, definitely. Everybody wants to be happy, regardless if they admit it or not. Everybody wants to be happy.
For sure.
Um, Something that I always say is smiling is therapeutic. Because at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a genuine smile. And when you get that genuine smile, it is therapy. It's literally therapy. Regardless if you realize it or not, but it's therapy. I literally have it tattooed on me. Like smiling
Yeah.
is therapeutic. And through my darkest moments, I used to try to make myself smile. And sometimes it would work, and other times, of course, it wouldn't. But once I finally realized how to smile genuinely, it was just like it's like I've been practicing it all these years, even through the darkness. I still practice smiling. So now it's just to the point where it's genuine and people can feel it and people can see it. And when people see me, they always say, "Oh, your smile." It's never, "Oh, you're pretty." I mean, for the most part, it's, "Oh, your smile,"
Yeah.
because it's genuine.
Yeah.
And I've had people ask me like, "How do you just smile on demand?" And it's just like it's natural.
Yeah.
It's
It
just
just comes
natural at this
natural.
point. So yeah, definitely, it's all a mindset. It's
Yeah,
all in
and
your mind.
like
Everything's in your mind.
and this just me opening up a little bit. I was suicidal at one point. I mentioned that. And for a long time, I thought about it. I just thought it was a normal thing. I just thought, hey, this is how life works. You're supposed to be suicidal. You're not even supposed to want to be here. That is literally how immersed I was in that shit, like every single day. But during those moments, I didn't pick a purpose for myself. I didn't know myself well enough. I was coming home watching Law and Order and just whatever I could distract myself with on TV and playing video games and not addressing the real issue of just going after my purpose. And
Right.
so now that that's not my life no more, that's not my situation, that's not what I subscribe to anymore. Just the circumstances are just it's just completely different for me now, and I'm more grateful to just ever before now that I could just be free for the most part, man. I am, and that's why you see me putting out content. Like I understand how difficult that is when like you're in such a dark space. You can't put out content. You can't
Correct.
be trying to help nobody else, and you ain't all the way. You know what I'm saying?
So,
So I was like, I'm thinking like I might not have the most money, but I'm fulfilled, and I want to share what I know with others and see who
that's
else I can just impact.
that's dope. And that's how I feel with my poetry. Like, if you didn't know, I'm a poet as well. Um,
I've seen some of your content before. I've seen your content. Don't you have like a
yeah,
separate platform?
yeah, I have a whole separate platform. I'm actually locked out of it right now. That's why I haven't been on there. Um,
Wow.
but I have everything in my phone, so it's okay. But
Hmm.
poetry was something to me where when I came home as a child, I would just get up my notebook and write. And I would just write and I would just write my feelings. I would just keep writing until I couldn't pour out no more emotions. Because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I would just come home and write it.
Hmm.
Um, and it just grew on me as I got older. And as I got older, I realized that this writing is a skill, it's a talent.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was called poetry. My first time sharing is crazy. I literally remember my first time sharing with the public was through Instagram. Never, ever, ever did anybody know that I write poetry ever.
Hmm.
And I still have the same notebooks from the very first time I ever wrote, which was in eighth grade. I still have the same exact notebook.
Wow.
Still have it. So I turned on my camera, sat my phone up, and I recited one of my poems. And I remember the feeling I had. So I'm like, this is personal. This is
Uh-huh.
personal. And I'm like, what if I posted and people don't like it, or what if they look at me sideways, or what if, I just was thinking, what if my anxiety was killing me to the point where I literally had to close my eyes and press share.
You're
And
not alone.
minutes, seconds, and I'm like, my phone started blowing up with notifications. And I was just like, wow, I touched so many people that I didn't even know I was trying to touch. It was just literally me just sharing my emotions.
Hmm.
And so many people, men and women, girls and boys, I should say, at that time, related to it. And they come to me, and some people look at my poetry as therapy for them. So I've had some people just DM me like, hey, can you send me some poems? I'm not feeling so well.
Wow.
Shoot them some stuff. There, what you need therapy for? Is it on love? Is it on is it on family? Like, what's it on? I've been through it all, so I have something for everything.
Do you think also like
Literally, I
that,
have
you
something for my
know,
business.
do you think that like all the pain that you experience in your life, it gives you that advantage or like that right to speak on those subjects?
Definitely, because when somebody hasn't been through it and they have an opinion on it, you automatically shut their opinion down. Automatically, like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know. You can't speak on that. But it's like, it's really not much I can't say that I haven't been through.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like people give me that respect. So when I do write it, they know it's literally coming from the soul. They can tell the difference between she just writing just to write, and no, this is literally what she experienced. So yeah, I mean, that's another way that I reach out to people. That's why I said that's my purpose. My purpose is to touch other people's hearts, and my talent to live on this earth to help me survive in this world is
Hmm.
bacon. But my actual purpose is to let people know, no matter what life throws at you, you still are somebody.
Hmm.
So that's my purpose. That's what I feel like, that's what my purpose is. It's not bacon. That's just to help me survive in this world.
And so like, off all the things that you've been through, are you does that give you like a sense of gratitude almost like because now like you're stronger because of it. You know more,
Right.
you're wiser, you can share more, you can impact
Right.
more.
I feel like it can either break you or make you. And at first it was breaking me, but now I'm to the point where I realize I am not my past. And
Hmm.
it made me. So now I appreciate, and this is going back to the gratitude, giving gratitude to the universe. Literally, okay, I finally realized that I appreciate what I went through. And I feel like now at this point, because I genuinely appreciate my past, is now when your blessings will start to come in. Is
Yeah.
you put out, you're literally putting out energy, and that energy that you're putting out is coming back to you times 10. So if
Hmm.
you're putting out negative energy, it's gonna come to you times 10. But when
It's
you
basic mathematics.
but when you start putting out positivity, I'm thankful. I was walking around saying I hate my car. I was, and and I worked so hard to get that car at one point. And when I first got the car, I was so happy. And then after months of driving it, I'm like, I hate this car. And I had to realize, no, you don't. You love this car, because if something happened to this car right now, you'll be hurt. Don't
Right.
don't take stuff for granted. Like, I don't take my past for granted anymore.
You do house calls too, so your car is like how you also impact, you know what I mean? So it's
Exactly.
like it's
So
much
that's
more
why I had to
important.
realize, like, oh, wait a minute. I did not just tell universe I hate my car. Let me take that back. I love my car. Car
Yeah,
don't
because
have
I was
hell, but
telling
I love
Kari,
it.
because Kari, he obviously he do house calls as well, and I tell myself like when he's out there cutting hair, he's not just cutting hair, he's impacting the world. When you out there delivering to people, delivering them goods for them to put in their bodies, you impacting the world. You know what I mean? It don't matter if you're going to cut their grass or just like feed a dog. Like you're impacting somebody's life here. So that car is definitely pivotal to that equation. Not saying it's
Definitely.
the end all be all, because I'm sure you'll find a way to get it done, but it
No.
helps, you know. So
It does. That's why it's just being mindful of what you put into the universe.
for sure,
Once
that's why
you
I
get
talk about
that
karma.
part down pat, once you realize that, people like, oh, I know, but you still don't do, which is
You
ignorance,
don't do right.
which is complete
Exactly.
ignorance. That is literally the definition of ignorance, not knowing of. So you don't know, because if you knew, you would not be doing it.
Yeah, if you knew better, you would do better.
Exactly. So once you learn that part of how to live in this world, once you learn how to live in this world, everything becomes easier. Just
Hmm.
feel like that.
So also, you know, me and you talked the other day. I had mentioned to you, you know, the topic of like becoming like almost an influencer, or being able to do shout outs for certain people once you get to a certain following. Like
Right.
when I told you that, like, you know, what registered in your head, like what actually clicked for you?
Oh, first I just want to say, like, I'm a blind. So when you asked me how much, I was real life lost. um, but no, like, once you explained it to me, I just was like, ah. It was like a light. It was just like, ah, okay. Never thought
Hmm.
about that. It made me realize, when you said that to me, it made me realize he believes. That's literally what that's all that registered. I said, oh, he
Hmm.
believes. And I've been having a lot of those, oh, they believe moments. Oh, that person believes. My uncle, me and my uncle was really close. He was messing with me, trying to make me wake up out my sleep. Um, and at the end, he just got up out my bed and he was like, I know you tired, you be working a lot, but you gonna be a billionaire. And I always say I'm gonna be a millionaire. Like, I never thought past, I never really thought past millions. And he just got up and was like, "You gonna be a billionaire." He said it so nonchalant, like he just already know, like he just. And it's just that's kind of the same feeling I got when you said it to me. I was just like, "Oh, he see it too," because it's dope when other people see more in you than what you see in you. And for me, that's my motivation. My motivation is not me. For the longest, I had to motivate myself to continue to do Heaven Sent. But when I started having people that believed in me more than I believed in me,
Yeah.
that's my fuel. That's what gave me my fuel. When I realized that I had actual supporters that genuinely wanted to see me win, it was like, you don't even know me,
Right.
but you're real life, like, rooting for me. Like,
Like, ain't that crazy? Like,
you on the
people who don't
sideline,
even
like,
know you,
come,
but
come,
your own
come.
family, like, it's just such an interesting dynamic, though. And I often talk about like not getting too excited about like compliments that people give you, or like not giving too many shits about insults and shit. I feel like you should look at it all the same way and just always remain even keeled. So like, you know, Gary, I felt like this man has a lot of guts to go in front of an audience that paid money to come see him and call him a bunch of dick faces and a bunch of fuck faces. Like, he called them lazy fucks. He like, look, what are y'all doing here? Why the fuck are you here? Like, you need to be out executing. Why the fuck did you pay money to be here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's having an understanding of who you are, and like just like who your audience is too. Cause like they understand that, they can feel that. They like, all right, I see what he's saying. You know what I mean? So like, he like, look, even if you compliment me, I don't fucking hear you. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you like me or if you don't like me. I'm gonna say what I need to say, and I'm gonna move the fuck on. And that's his, that, you know what I'm saying? That's his approach. So it's ultimately like, when people praise me for something, I'll be like, you know, thank you, thank you. I'm very humbled by that. But that's, at the end of the day, I can't get too high off of it. You know, you can't get too high on your own supply.
No,
But it's
definitely.
okay for that, you know, those little pieces of validation to keep you going. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's those little pieces of validation that keeps you going. And
Yeah,
so Gary, like, look, as much as I don't give a fuck about your compliment, I'm equally flattered. Like, I love it. Thank you.
exactly.
I love
That's
when
a
somebody tell
that's
me I
like
changed their
a
life.
man. That's like I'm gonna always relate everything back to Eric Thomas because I'm just absolutely in love with him.
What's the most
Um,
profound thing you ever heard him say?
when he say he gets on stage, he don't take his wins with him. He take his losses. So he don't get on stage and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the man." He get on stage like, "Dang, you know, I was a high school dropout." Like he still carries that with him.
Yeah,
Every single speech, you will not hear him not say he was a high
I was a
school
high school
dropout
dropout.
and,
That's what he
and he
said.
was homeless.
That's his story. He like, look, Eric
That's his
Thomas, high school
story.
dropout,
He carries
eating out
that
of
with
trash
him
can.
everywhere he go, but he doesn't carry it with him in negativity. He uses it as fuel. So instead of like how you say people aren't humble, he's humble because he uses his losses,
For sure.
not his wins.
Did you
But
see
he's
that
not
one
like,
tweet that I
"Oh, I'm
put
a
up?
billionaire." He walks around like, "Man, I was homeless." And
Did you see that one tweet I put up? I said, 2020 should be amazing because I'm looking forward to failing more. I'm looking forward to losing more. I'm trying to like encourage more people to get more comfortable with losing. It's like Les Brown said, you gotta fail your way to greatness. You have to fail your way to that shit. Like, because
that's
people think it's about like you just getting out here to try and automatically succeeding. That's not how this shit works. That's a perfect world. This is not a perfect world.
it's
You know,
not.
failure is a guidance mechanism that shows you, hey, something is
It
being done wrong.
strengthens you. It's testing you. It's literally testing you. Are you strong enough? And when
It's
you realize that
creating
you're
you. It's
being
building
tested,
you.
yeah, when you realize that you're being tested, nothing bothers you. And something can, I'm not gonna put anything in the universe, but something can happen right now that's like, dang, that's messed up. But it's not
Yeah,
gonna stop me.
for
It's
sure.
not gonna stop
I often tell my family members because I'm an extremist now. Like I've evolved more into an extremist. So I tell my family, I tell Kari, I don't give two shits if my legs get ripped off. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse not to be successful because my mouth still work, my arms still work, I can still talk, I can still write.
me.
Now,
It's
every single day that I wake up and I got two legs, you best believe I'm extremely fucking grateful.
exactly.
Extremely.
I mean,
But
I'm very grateful because literally that could happen at any moment.
any
But
moment.
I feel you 100% on that. It's like dang, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but he was a former football player, and he said that a lot of people give up when life throws an obstacle at them because they think automatically like, dang, this happened. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing it. But no, it's actually testing you. How
Hmm.
bad do you want it? When you tell the universe that you want something, literally, it will strip you of. It was like Eric Thomas said, it will strip you to the
He said, "You
core,
look." He said, "You're gonna cry. There's no way around it.
and
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
cry."
cry.
He said, "Well, you might as well
It's
get it
going
out
to
now."
strip. Life is going to strip you.
It's gonna beat the
Literally
fuck out
strip.
of you.
As soon as you put that thing, I said I want to be the best bakery in the world, not Michigan. I want to be the best bakery in
You
the
had no clue in
world.
that moment what type of like drama you were setting up for yourself,
Didn't
wanting the
realize it
universe to
will
accommodate
literally
that.
strip you. It will tear you down to your like literally weaken you to your knees some days. But it's all about if you're gonna stay down or get back up. I
Because
have
ultimately,
toast all over my all over my room. People think I'm weird. Like I mean the people who understand knows, but people think I'm weird. I have post-its everywhere. Post-it boards, like post-it stickers,
hmm
post-it boards. And it's just a constant daily reminder when I wake up what I'm working for. So no matter how my day goes, as soon as I open my eyes, I'm reading my goals. And as soon
hmm
as I come home from whatever day that I had, I'm reading my goals. So when
for
I wake
sure,
up, I'm still refueled. And
for
when I get
sure,
started, I'm refueled. And when I come back, I'm still going to be refueled. Like you can't break
right.
me at this point.
Like
And
today, you did a whole event, and now you're doing a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making the
and
most of your
you
time.
want to know what's crazy? It's in between me coming home and getting on this podcast. Um, Something crazy happened, and it could have maybe be like cancel this podcast, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let it distract me.
Hmm
I'll figure it out later.
hmm
Um, it's really kind of scary, but I'm like, I'll figure it out later. Um, yeah, life, like you said, life will literally test you. So when you say you want something, It's going to test you. I literally have failure as a part of success on my wall to remind me every time I fail, it's not a loss. It's not failure. Failure don't exist.
It's just no such thing. That's why, when Thomas Edison adopted Henry Ford as a mentee, he was a mentor to Henry Ford. He really wanted to get that word out of his vocabulary. Like, look, this shit not real. It don't
Yeah,
exist.
it does not exist. Failure does not exist. It is your life experiences that either make you or break you, and that's just it. And when it
Robert
breaks
Greene. Have
you,
you ever
that's
heard of
when
Robert Greene?
I have heard of him. I
He
don't
wrote
know.
he wrote the 48 Laws of Power.
Oh, okay.
Very,
I was like,
very,
I
very
do.
famous book. But one of his quotes, he talked about failure. He said it's a guidance mechanism.
Yeah,
It literally guides you to what you should have been doing in the first fucking place. When you get on a bike, your brain doesn't have a real sense of balance on two wheels just yet. But the failure is about to teach you. You got to scrape your kneecap a couple times, your elbow, to realize, fuck, I got to keep
you'll
this
never
bike
forget.
balanced. Exactly. And so off that
You'll never
failure,
forget.
off that failure and that pain that you felt, you're like, I'm not going through that no more. I'm never going through that again.
I'm
And
gonna
you
get
make the
this right.
necessary, yeah, you make the necessary adjustments to get the shit right. So yeah, I'm glad, like, what I'm saying, when we talked about like using your platform as an opportunity to just obviously ultimately have a second, revenue stream. Like, 6,000 people, right? Like, that's a lot of human beings. Like, if you think about it, imagine 6,000 people trying to squeeze into your room right now. You know how much of a hassle that would be? So
First
that's
of
a lot of
all.
people who, like, what I'm saying, attention that you got right now. And like, attention is more valuable than money. And the reason why is because, let's say in another year or so, another 6 months, when that's at 10K, like I said, brands are gonna reach out to you.
You
They're gonna
just
see
put
the
that in
attention
the
that you have.
universe.
Yeah,
You
it's like, why not? Because it's, I mean,
just
think about what's happening here. The numbers only going up, right?
right.
So it's just a matter of time.
I mean, sometimes they go down,
It,
but
it happens, but for the most part, you're spreading your influence and awareness to more people. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you to create more content that's not about always about like trying to get people to buy your product, but more so just telling them a story to just keep them intrigued, to keep their attention. Because if you can ultimately keep that attention, you winning. You winning the game.
I
You know what I
feel you.
mean? You don't even need them to buy your product. If you have their attention, you have more than enough because your money is gonna find its way to you because you've been able to
Right,
arbitrage that.
right. Like literally, this conversation is so dope. But clearly I'm not rich,
Hmm.
but it doesn't change how I feel about what I do every day.
Hmm.
Every day I still wake up at 5:30, regardless if I have an order or not. And
Hmm.
I have roommates, and they'll look at me like, "Oh, you got orders?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, who you bake here for?" I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
They
So you
gonna
just get
find
up
their
and
way to
bake.
me though. So it's just,
Damn.
just to keep it. If I'm telling people that I'm a baker, why don't you have any bake? Why don't you have anything today? You feel me?
Right.
If I'm a bakery, why am I not open every day?
Right.
If I'm a bakery, why don't I have something baked, regardless if I see the customer ahead of time or not? I don't have
Right.
to have a pre-order. I don't have to have an order. Like, because when I have an actual storefront, I'm not going to know who's going to come in, or
Right.
if anybody's going to come in at all. I think that's why so many people are scared to be entrepreneurs and to open up businesses,
Hmm.
because it literally, you never know. You might have a terrible day,
Yeah.
but you might have those days where you're so jam packed that it makes up for those terrible days.
Hmm.
So some days I can make. I think the most amount in this 5 year span, the most amount I've made in one day is around 1,300.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is, and for me to be a small business, it is amazing. And it's just like when people tell me to get a job, I'm just like, I know what I'm capable of. It's just like I know what I'm capable of, and no job is gonna pay me 1,300 in one day, and that's with me being a small business. Imagine if
Hmm.
I was a large business. Well, imagine if I was a corporation. Imagine if I was franchised. I don't want to be none of those things. I don't. Um, I want Heaven Sent to be exclusive. I would never franchise it because then it loses its value.
Mm-hmm.
But on a larger scale, this is me with my small amount of consistent clientele.
Mm-hmm.
So on a larger scale, just imagine how much I can make. And that's when you become a millionaire or a billionaire, or that's when you started, you know, creating other sources of income because the average millionaire has 7 sources of income.
Okay. So
So,
let me ask you this, because I know you checked out the video with me and Josh that was, more so about systematizing. What did you get from that? Because I don't feel like I was extremely clear, because systematizing encompasses so much. But like, I
mhm.
want to know, like, what did you get from that? Like, what did you understand differently about?
So, it was literally like a smack in the face. Because it's something that I already know and don't do. Ignorance. So, I'm still learning. But Eric Thomas said, a lot of you are failing because you don't have a routine. Success is in your routine. You're not as strong as you think you are. You're not as smart as you think you are. It's in your routine that is what creates you. And your routine is a system. No matter what, that's what I said. No matter what, I'm waking up at 5:30. I don't care
Right.
what it is. Even if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I'm still gonna wake up at 5:30 and put that stuff in the universe. And if I'm still like, nah, I need to go back to sleep and try again, then I'll just go back to sleep and try again. But I already woke up at 5:30 and told the universe what I wanted. Nobody gets up
Exactly.
at 5:30. I mean, might have a select few, but in real life,
It's a very small amount of people on our planet that's up at 5:30.
exactly. It's very small. And every time he wakes up at 3.
Yeah, he's up at 3:30. And I told you, like, the story how we first met was so, it was crazy, because I'm going over my friend first. He asked me if I wanted to go to an event that Eric Thomas was gonna be at. I'm like, bet, let's do it. I'm definitely down. It's ET. At this point, I was listening to his voice every morning on my way to the track. I used to be 310 pounds. Listening to his voice every morning on my way to the track, I lost like 80 pounds. So
That's dope.
that was
Congratulations.
that was thank you. That was literally leading up to this point. So I'm like, hell yeah, I want to go see ET, pay my respects. He's like, all right, we're gonna be meeting up at my house, and then we're gonna drive to the church that he's gonna be speaking at. So I get to my friend's house and I knock on the door, and Eric Thomas opens the door. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, in my head, this is what's happening. Like, what? Like, I'm supposed to see you on the stage. Like, you're not supposed to be opening the door for me. And then when he opens the door, he reaches out a hand like, Eric Thomas, nice to meet you. I'm like, I know exactly who you are. Like, you know what I mean?
It was
So
like
like,
a starstruck feeling, but
I'm
like in
like,
the
excuse me, I know who you are. Like, I listen to your voice every fucking morning. Like, it's
every
like the
morning.
universe slapping you. Like, boom, like here he
Yes,
is.
that's
Like,
and
bringing,
that's
like,
how it was.
you know,
Not to cut you off, but that's exactly how I felt when you said that. Um, when you said that, like you gotta have a system. To me, I felt like that was meant for me. Cause it was literally like as soon as I logged on Instagram, your that popped up. That was the first thing that I saw.
damn.
And I always watch your stuff, so I click on it, and it was literally like a backhand slap in the face. And it's like I'm struggling and I'm trying to keep things in order. And of course, I'm a mother now, and just like trying to balance business and being a mother and being a friend is very,
Well, how
very,
old are
very
you? Let me
different.
ask you that.
I'm 24.
So 24 is like young as fuck, obviously.
Yes.
And it's most people 40, 45, and 50 who still literally haven't figured out, or like still don't even understand the value of having a system. It really takes patience, right? Because like I said, I mentioned Henry Ford earlier. Henry Ford didn't know about marketing and advertising and branding and business in general. But what he was good at was using his hands for fixing cars. So as long as you're good at what you're good at within that system, then everything else around the system can be put around you, like the right pieces for that system to operate. So like right now, if you were to just focus more so on branding and just giving your customers the best experience and just being patient and waiting until your social following grows more, people gonna want to put that system around you. Like, hey, I do logos or I do videos. I would love to just like, shoot your videos and edit your videos. Or, hey, let me build you a website. I see that you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just, that system want to put itself around you because they see what you're creating. So it
And
just takes
people do
time
that to
and
me now.
patience. Exactly. So it's just a matter of patience. Like, the right pieces gonna put themselves around you for you to operate your business more efficiently. Because in that video, we talked about the fact that if you can't walk away from the business for 30 days
It's
and it
not a
still
business.
generates revenue, you haven't put it all together yet. Like, you
It's
can't
not a
be the,
business. It's
it's not a
not a
business. It's
business.
just a
You're
hobby. It's a job
exactly
almost.
right. It's not a, if you can't walk, and every successful person will tell you that it's not a business if you can't walk away from it. And at this stage, I can't walk away from it, but I finally realized that I can't walk
Hmm.
away from
So right
it.
now, you're everything. You are the manager. You are the technician. You're the customer service agent. You're the marketer. You're the
I am
advertiser.
my
You're the
own
brander.
change agent.
You're that exactly. You are that. You literally all of that right now. And so slowly and strategically, as you build relationships with different people, you figure out, oh, I can use him at for this piece right here, or I can use her for that piece. And you
That's
start to put
exactly what's
those
going on
pieces
in my life
around you.
right now. After 5 years, I never trusted anybody with my recipes ever. I just will not give them to nobody. Um, and just out of another life experience of why I don't. But I literally, after 5 years of doing this, I have an assistant, like a legit assistant.
Wow.
And not that it's anybody's business, but I don't pay her. I can't afford to pay her. The business doesn't create enough revenue,
Right.
clearly, because I'm still working for the business.
Right.
For me to pay her. But she came to me and was like, "Yeah, so I'm your assistant," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And I kind of
Wow.
blew
Are
her
you
off,
serious?
and I kept blowing her off, and I kept blowing her off, and one day she kind of cut into me, and that's why I like her, because even though I'm my own boss, she still puts me in my place that I need to be in, and she does it with no problem. And she did it one day to me. She cut into me about something. She was like, "You can't do this by yourself." It's literally what you were saying in your video. Can't do this by yourself. And she always slapped my goals back into my face. I don't share my goals with everybody, but
Hmm.
I have a set monetary sales goal for 2020. And she slaps that into my face all the time. "Oh, you're not gonna make that doing what you're doing. You need help." And she's like, "You don't ever call me. You told," and she's like, "You don't never call me." So at this point, she calls me. Like, she's literally, it's amazing because she will literally come over here and act like she clocks in and work, and she will work, like not just, "Oh, what you need help with," but she's actually. It's like I'm not even working anymore. Like, I'm not even baking anymore. To be honest, I don't even have to bake no more. Certain things
So
I do want to bake myself, but like the cake goes, I will personally do those myself. But I'm not even working anymore, to be honest.
I
She's
might be reaching with this question here, but I think I just gotta know, and for anybody still listening at this point, we will all want to know, like, what is from your point of view, what does she get out of helping you, like, at no cost? Like,
I don't
what does she
know.
get out of it?
I honestly do not know. I think she told me she believed in me and she just want to see the vision come to life. That's it.
Wow, look at the universe. Like, it will literally put those pieces around you to make you success. Like, she's one of those pieces. Like, she was a gift from the universe for
Yeah,
sure.
I will always be grateful to her.
Does
I'm
she
very
does she have
thankful.
like any type of, so is she more focused on like baking, or do you think she'd be
No,
interested in more like content creation at all, or?
she's actually a chef of herself, but she's a savory chef. She actually hates baking.
Okay.
But that's the killer part about it. She hates baking, but she's so good at it though.
Wow.
She hates baking. She likes to cook. She doesn't like to bake. Um, and I'm so humble and I'm so appreciative of the fact that she comes over my house day in and day out, and I will literally see her work from from the moment she comes in here. until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. She works like how, like I sit back and I'll stare at her work, and I'm just like, this is literally how I would be working, slaving. It's like I'm slaving myself for my vision, but now you're doing it for me,
I
and
think
it's
it's like you said, whatever your core values are in life, she shares those values, and she definitely believe in you. That's the only time a person will give you their time. They have to believe in you, and she
exactly.
shares at least a portion of that vision with you. Like, she knows it's just a matter of time for you.
And that's what she keeps saying. She slaps it in my face. She slaps my monetary goal in my face every single day we talk. You owe. She'll come to my house and cuss me out. Why is this not organized? Why is this not like that? That's out of place. She like she will literally come over here and cuss me out. You
You
ain't
know what
gonna
it
make
sounds
that
like?
doing this.
It kind of sounds like it almost gives her a sense of purpose too. Remember, we talked about picking your purpose, and we don't know what she goes through in her personal life, when she's alone in a room or in the car with her own thoughts.
You're right. We
Like
don't.
being over here, being over there with you and helping you and assisting you and helping you get closer to your goal might be therapeutic to her, and it might give her a sense of purpose. You know what I mean? So that could also be like, man, that's just incredible.
I never thought about it that way. Like she's so important. She's a very important role in my business at this point. Um, I can tell her the recipe because I don't write down my recipes. I can tell it to her. She'll go in the basement because that's where I got everything set up. She'll go down there and do it while I'm upstairs taking care of my baby.
Hmm. Wow, that's
So
amazing. That's amazing.
it's literally like I can be a mother, and at this point, I'm just overseeing her. If she have a question, she'll come ask.
So, I was also taught like in business, you want to hire slow and fire fast, and as many people hate Donald Trump, he had an interesting quote around like certain employees. He said bad employees are good employees, and this is the reason why, because they make it obvious that they bad and you can fire their ass right away. That's a good thing. Get them right out your company. And he said, good employees are actually bad employees because they're not going to try to strive to be great or make your company greater. They're going to do just enough to hold their position and not get fired. So they almost like an
That's
imposter
me.
within your business. So it's like, fuck, it's like you can't even you can't fire them because they're doing everything right. They're doing just enough to get by, but they don't give a fuck if your company excel or not. They just there to get paid.
Exactly. And
And
literally that is me as an employee. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's not my passion. I don't care. And because of that feeling that I have as an employee, as a business owner, I'm like, I don't want nobody working for me. So all this time I've been trying to do it by myself because I know how people feel because I am that person.
here's another thing too I want you to understand about being a business owner is when you hire people, like you said, they really don't work for you. You actually work for them. Like a lot of CEOs are starting to understand that we don't work for you because like you can't start a business and expect somebody you hire to have a passion for that business like you do.
Exactly.
You fucking started that business. They just needed a
Exactly.
job and some money.
They just need a
Like
check. You don't want to work for me. You want a check from me.
exactly. So that's why Gary say, look, like anybody who worked for his company, he said, look, I work for them. Like they are my boss. I do what I have to do to make sure they're happy and they're satisfied because they the reason why this shit operate. They're the backbone of operations here. And I have to make sure that they are taken care of first. So great companies are the companies that put the employees first. You know what I mean? So this is why Amazon is actually starting to receive a lot of heat, even though they're a cash giant. They're receiving a lot of heat for like just the
That's
way
where I
they
was
treat their
working.
employees.
That's where I was
Wow,
working.
interesting. So you know all
uh,
about it. They care about their customers. That's good, but the
yo, yeah, they
employees first.
definitely care about their customers. Employees, mm-mm.
Employees are actually who you should care about first. So let me tell you, if you just remain patient and you fill out the people that you have helping you out, like old girl, she sounds like she's in, like she's all the way in. When
Oh
you get
yeah, she like
established,
it.
she's in.
She got a shirt too.
Her kids are taken care of when this thing pops off. You know what I'm saying? As far as like
Exactly.
healthcare advantages and
She
benefits,
don't
they
even
don't have to worry
realize
about
it.
shit.
She don't
You
even
know,
realize it because she's building my success. And even though I can't afford to pay her at this very moment,
Exactly.
when it does reach that point, she
Hmm.
won't even have to work if she don't want to.
Right. And that's why I said always remember that, you work for her, not the other way around. So
Right.
like,
'Cause like I said, she'll come in and tell me what to do. I just be like, okay, all right, I'll get to it right away. Like right away, whatever you say. And
that's awesome.
it's really dope now that I can sit down and have business discussions with someone. Because at first it was just me either telling a boyfriend or trying to tell my mama, and it's just like
Yeah, family
not,
member or something
not
like
the
that.
same. It's like I'm really just talking to myself. Your boyfriend just gonna be like, yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, go for it. Yeah, strive, yeah.
He ain't really listening though.
Not really, yeah, not really listening for real.
Mama gonna do the same thing. I'm trying to watch my TV show, and you would just keep talking to me. And I'm just
Right.
like, I. It's like you just feel that loneliness right there. Like I said,
Right.
this road that we live in is very very lonely, and it's very after 5 years of this lonely ass journey. I finally have somebody to share it with, and it feels so amazing to sit down and talk to somebody. Um, Even with my significant other, to be able to sit down and talk to them about it,
Hmm.
and they feel me on a much deeper level,
Yeah.
and they're able to have a conversation back with me and not just listen.
Hmm.
Um, like they're listening to respond, not just listening to react.
Right.
And and it feels so much more different, and it's just like, okay, I'm actually having business conversations.
Hmm.
I'm getting somewhere now.
Right.
Um, and I feel like that's what really is going to make the biggest difference for my business in 2020. Because I'm having business conversations. I'm sharing this information with other people. We're having meetings. We're sitting down at the table, well, at the
Right.
bar. We're sitting down at the bar, um, and we're having these conversations, and it's literally building my brand. And I'm so grateful for it. And that's why I say 2020 Heaven Sent is going someplace that it's never reached before.
Okay.
So I'm definitely excited. I'm excited.
Stay
I
patient.
don't
I'm
know. I
telling
don't
you,
know
patience is
exactly
your
what's going to happen.
is
I have goals, but just because you set a goal doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. But so I have goals, but I don't know what's going to happen for the new year. But I just know it's going to be good.
be open to the unknown. Like I said,
Yeah.
uncertainty is a gift from the universe that, is that's the magic of it all. So, um, man, I definitely want to, thank you for being a guest. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
And um, obviously, just sharing your thoughts on this platform. And like I said, the thing that I love about content is it's gonna be here forever, long after we gone. I still listen to Alan Watts content. He died
Mhm.
back in the '70s, but this man impact my life all the time. So like, you never know who, what line we spit out that's gonna help somebody. Like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So this is
Even a,
evergreen. I also encourage you to start your own podcast. I know you said like, y'all gonna be sitting down having business discussions. Maybe document that. Make that as podcast series where y'all answer certain people questions or certain people ask y'all questions or y'all ask the audience questions. Like, just putting content out here to tell that story and to keep that story an interesting story.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. You are the second person who have told me that. I'm sure you know who was the first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
Now
I'll
that you
definitely
said
keep
that.
that in mind.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I just want to say thank you again. Wish you the best on your journey. I'm always gonna be a resource to you. So like if you ever need anything, feel free to hit me up, ask me any questions. Um, you know, that's what I'm here for, just to give value in it with whatever way I can.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I look up to you.
That's
I
dope.
really
That's
do.
super flattering. Like, obviously that's the reason why I do what I do every single day because like it's not just about me. You know what I'm saying? It's about everybody else ultimately. Y'all the
Right.
ones got to show up to the funeral if something happened to me. You know what I mean? Not me. I ain't got to worry about that.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's all about the funeral. So But like I said, thank you again. Happy Sunday to you. You killed it today. And enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here.
For sure, for sure. All right.